Hello friends, today we will be discussing about another type of electrochemical corrosion, that is pitting corrosion and stress corrosion. In pitting corrosion, as the name suggests, it will be a localized and accelerated form of corrosion, and it is one of the most severe corrosion. It may be due to formation of galvanic cells, or it may be due to condensation cells, formation of condensation cells. We will have a localized and accelerated form of corrosion which will destroy the metal completely. It results in formation of pits, cavities and pinholes which penetrates deeply through the metal. Pitting requires long initiation period, but if the pits are small, it may be covered with some corrosion products, and because of lower area of cathode, the rate of corrosion will be very high. And it is difficult to find the pitting corrosion until and unless a sudden service failure occurs. The pit will act as anode, and as I said, since the area of anode is very small, the rate of attack will be very high and there will be high rate of corrosion. Pitting of metal occurs due to breakdown or cracking of the protective film formed on the metal. So you can have an example here. See, this is an iron piece. Here we have a pit here, and this is a drop of, or else we can say that finally when the corrosion product forms, that will be collected over the pit, and here the iron will act as anode, the pit will act as anode here, and iron will lose its electrons to form Fe2 plus 2 electron. Depending upon the electrolyte that is used, we will have either hydrogen evolution process or oxygen absorption process. The scratches or pits will act as the anode and high rate of corrosion will take place. The presence of impurities and sand, dust, scale, this also will increase the rate of corrosion, because as I said, the concentration difference of oxygen also increases the rate of corrosion. The small metallic part under the impurity will become the anode, that is pit will become the anode, and because of smaller anodic area, high rate of corrosion will take place. Once a pit is formed, the rate of corrosion will be further increased. And if there are presence of chloride ions or some electrolyte is present, that will get activated by those. So the reaction taking place there, as I explained before, the metal will lose its electron to form metallic ions. That is, M giving rise to M2 plus 2 electron, or Fe, if it is Fe, it is Fe2 plus 2 electron. And at cathode, either oxygen absorption take place or hydrogen evolution process take place. Pitting is common in aluminum alloys, copper alloys, stainless steel, nickel alloys, okay, all these which is containing chlorides. Next is the stress corrosion. As the name suggests, the metal under stressed part will undergo corrosion. That is the combined action of stress and corrosion in presence of corrosive environment causing cracking or embrittlement of the metal. We call it as the stress corrosion. The stress corrosion is highly localized and is generally seen in the alloys like nickel brasses, high zinc brasses, etc. The stress may be caused due to heavy working like rolling, insufficient annealing or anything. If the metal is pure, then generally stress corrosion do not occur. On applying the load, the crack will get deeper. Okay, there will be a continuous breakdown of the passive film, and on applying load, the crack will get deeper and it will accelerate the rate of corrosion. The corrosive agents for stress corrosion of the metal are specific and may be of very small amount. For example, we have in presence of ammonia, brass undergo corrosion easily. Another example is acid chloride for stainless steel. And one more example, we can take caustic alkalis or strong nitrate solution for mild steel. All these three cases are example for the stress corrosion. It is generally, as I previously also discussed, it is in fabricated alloys like high zinc or nickel brasses due to presence of stress caused by the heavy working conditions. We have a metal which has two different grains. See, you can see the stress part here. The atom arrangement is different. Here, the atomic arrangement is different. The boundary, this boundary will be acting as a stressed part or anode, and corrosion will take place here. And in this one, we can see this is a stressed part where the corrosion take place, and the plain part will act as cathode, and the stressed part will act as anode. The presence of stress causes strains and also results in the localized zones. Other examples for stress corrosion are season cracking of brass and caustic embrittlement. Now, let us see what is season cracking. The stresses caused is due to manufacturing defects of metal alloy. See, metal alloy undergoes corrosion, like for example, copper containing phosphorus, arsenic, zinc, aluminium. All these undergo corrosion in presence of moisture, air, ammonia, salt. Okay, this will develop cracks also. Copper and zinc both are very active in ammonia solutions, and it will form complexes like copper ammonia complexes and zinc ammonia complexes, which will cause dissolution of the brass and will initiate cracks which go on propagating. The attack occurs along the grain boundaries. As I have discussed in the previous slide, this will become more anode with respect to the grain, and because of the smaller area of anode, this will go on increasing at the boundaries. Caustic embrittlement means in presence of basic compound like sodium hydroxide, the corrosion is taking place. For example, mild steel is when exposed to alkaline solution, high temperature and stresses causes stress corrosion. Generally, this takes place in high pressure boilers where we produce steam from water, and sodium carbonate is added as softening process, softening of water. That is removal of all the hard substances. So what happens is sodium carbonate will decompose to form sodium hydroxide, and water will become alkaline. So you can see sodium carbonate is reacting with water at high pressure boilers to form sodium hydroxide. These sodium hydroxide, these dilute alkaline solution penetrate into thin hair cracks and crevices under the water where the water evaporates. So the concentration of alkali become higher in the areas where there are cracks. Okay, so this area, at this area, the iron will react with this sodium hydroxide and will form corresponding sodium ferroate. Okay, so at crevices, cracks and all, where the metal will be stressed, and that will be converted into sodium ferroate. This sodium ferroate further decomposes and sodium hydroxide is regenerated now. The sodium ferroate is formed, again it will react with water in the boiler, and that will form again the sodium hydroxide. So the sodium hydroxide destroyed our metal, it is converted into, iron is converted into sodium ferroate, and this further reacting produces more amount of sodium hydroxide, which will cause further dissolution of iron, and particularly at crevices and near rivets. This caustic embrittlement is explained by considering an electrochemical cell also. The area where dilute sodium hydroxide, that is plain surfaces, will act as the negative electrode, and the positive electrode is nothing but the part that is crevices or rivets or hair cracks that will that is in contact with the concentrated sodium hydroxide, that will act as anode, and corrosion will take place. So by blocking the hair cracks, we can stop that. So for blocking, we can add some substances like sodium sulfate tannin, lignin, all these compounds, all these substances can block the hair cracks and can prevent the corrosion. Thank you. That's all for today.